Supreme, yo. What's going on? So, Divine wanted me to come say a couple things, right? There's something called a tempering, right? It's like it prepares you to be able to listen to the divine, right? In so many different ways, like in so many different ways. It's a tempering. And these things are already embedded into your makeup as far as you're a creation. They're in you. They've been in you since you first moved your eyes and cried and came out the womb. Like they've been inside you. But you ain't know what none of this stuff was. Like you ain't know. And then you get like the sound effects of life. You know, you get reprimanded by your parents. You got a brother or sister that's aggravated. You got friends. You get the sound of everybody moving around, cars, birds. You know what I'm saying? The sound of a day, if you even know what that is, when you wake up, you can hear the difference in between it being nighttime and daytime. I got focus, so I be knowing shit like this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you these things because, all right, I do consultations, spiritual consultations. So if you want to do a consultation with me, you know, hit me up, email me. You know what I'm saying? I like the personal, hands-on, one-on-one type things because I like to really get in depth with people on their particular issue and not stray off to other values and circumstances that really ain't got nothing to do with you. Because you know how some people, like when they talk, they like to use other things that don't have nothing specifically to do with you. So Divine has a message for every individual person. So if you want spiritual guidance, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I don't charge much per hour. You know what I'm saying? So hit me up and you can get those services along with a lot of other things I do. But yeah, back to the point. It's a tempering. And that tempering allows you to be able to focus on the tools Divine put inside you so you can hear exactly how and comprehend how to use the things that are inside you. You know, you make yourself deaf. I'm not talking about just like by hearing. Some people don't like to hear nothing else but their self. You know, that's a form of ego. So when you're trying to tell somebody something right or wrong, they don't hear you. You know what I'm saying? And they're in their head thinking about how great they are, or you know what I'm saying? Like they don't really want to hear this, or they gonna do what they want, whatever. Those type people who carry that and see the word I was looking for earlier today and the other day when I was trying to say it's called entitlement. That's what I was looking for. People are entitled. They think that they can feel how they want about everything. This is why there were certain, see, when it comes to religion, right, and Bible passages, even the authors of these books told people at this point now in 2020, I think it was 2023 they released, or 2022, and they first released their first paperwork on saying that they were confused about writing the Bible and they stole all these things from different people and stuff like that. And these were works of other people that they collaborated to make the one book. And then it kept getting, because the book itself was dangerous, because it was stolen from other people, it created an entity, right? And that entity went to, it seek to destroy the Bible, right? So then you had other things in different retrospect worse than the first creations that would get a hold of it and rewrite it. So this is how you came about having a homosexual write it, how you had a different species write about it, and groups of people who didn't have the best value of the people in their hands start rewriting these words. It's because it was already on its demise. I ain't about to go all into that, but that's really what happened with that. So Divine, the Almighty, don't need no help from nobody. Never did. Didn't need help when he created everybody. Well, the children of the Almighty didn't need help. Didn't need help to do anything to the value. It's always somebody saying, "Oh, I was the one." You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens is at this point, if my child get lost, like if you in the park and you got a couple kids with you, and your child happens to get lost, right? You would tell somebody that's close enough to you to carry a word to that child to get them back to you because you're possibly the parent. So like say if you out there, you got like 3 or 4 kids, 2 or 3 kids, right? and they all in the park playing. The one kid that got lost, you gonna probably tell the older brother, like, yo, go get your brother or go get your sister or go look for them. Where they at? Go find them right now and bring them back to me. Because they can see on a child's level and they know how y'all play, and that mentality will help them find that child and get them back to where they are. And we're talking about divine energy. So divine has been laid inside of us cognizance, right? A level of cognizance to where you pick up on certain things, and you pick up on them. You're supposed to follow that first thought. When you're in your own head and you're entitled, what happens is you'll have a first thought, and then you will judge that first thought. You'll say, I don't know if I really want to do that. You'll try to think in another mind. That other mind that comes up. Some religions say that's Satan. I don't like giving power to entities. You know what I'm saying? I don't like giving power to nothing but the Almighty. So I get it when they say it's Satan speaking in your mind when that first thought comes. I get that. I understand it. But you have flesh. And your flesh also makes you change your second thought. So you start deliberating on how you feel outside of yourself, how you feel outside of yourself, opposed to what that light inside of you is telling you to do on that first thought. It's connected. It's a synapses. Like, so the mind, the heart, and the soul is connected. And the Taurus field, which is outside of you, right, that comes from the Almighty, is what your body filters as knowledge. So most people don't even listen to the Taurus field. They never have. I'm gonna take this moment to plug in. If you would like, you can go up and down my social media, or not social media, but on my YouTube or to my Patreon, and you can look up incremental science. And I have classes where I talk about this. I got like over 33 different classes where I broke all this stuff down. I did illustrations and drawings and all that. So that's if you want to go look into that. And if you want a personal one-on-one with the class, I'm still willing to teach them. If one person want the class, they can pay for me to teach it to them directly, or you can get a group of people. Y'all can come at me, and I'll still teach you directly on what that class is. I have it. It's not an issue for me to do that, but you know, there's a price with that. So contact me if you want to learn from the incremental science class, or if you want a spiritual consultation. Right? All right. So with divine, like I'm saying, divine gives you these things inside of you to where, and see that's why to me spirituality is fire, yo. It's dope, because it's like when you learning it, it's nothing new. It's not new. It's just you getting a chance to actually learn what's in you. You think your whole life you just built with eyes, nose, a mouth, brain, your heart, you know, your blood pumping, your muscles, and what the doctor tell you and all that. It's so much that goes on inside of you. Do you know that your body literally does time travel? It's a fact. Your body does time travel every day, and it also produces the energy to time travel. Don't get me twisted when I'm saying this. It's something called electromagnetism. So as your blood is pumping through your veins, it's creating a force field, which is an electromagnetic force field. Now, when you go to touch yourself, right? When you go, like, if you touch your shoulder like this, the finger is going to touch the shoulder. Now, as it's touching the shoulder, right, there's an energy signal that goes from this point of when it touched your shoulder. It goes super fast. It goes faster than you can think speed is. It goes to your brain. It calculates what's going on at that moment, and it gets back to that spot. So therefore, that spot can respond as a touch when you touched it. That's how fast it moves. Literally time travel in itself, right? So the synapses moves that fast. It's like, you know how you get burned, like, ah. Well, when the fire hit your finger, it had to race to your brain, tell your brain that it was hot. Get back to your finger so your finger can feel it as being burnt. That's how fast that, like, it's amazing. Like, your body has some amazing things that go on with it, right? So what I'm trying to get you to understand is the world has shielded all those things from you having access to them since you was a child. So a lot of people just don't know stuff. They just dumb as a rock. They don't know stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you bring it up to them, they're like, duh, oh no. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't even think on certain things. So you'll end up wasting your time talking about certain things to certain people. You know what I'm saying? And your mind has to be open to actually even comprehend a lot of these things, right? So even with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot about myself. You know what I'm saying? I've learned a lot about myself. And that came from me being still. So I'll be in different situations and I can already tell how people feeling, what they thinking and all that. And I just want to respond to it. You know what I'm saying? I won't say nothing. I won't say nothing. I'll let it play out. You know what I'm saying? I'll let it play out to see where it goes. But I'm already knowing how you feeling. I'm already knowing what you thinking in your mind at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And that comes from being still. It's not about learning people. It's about learning how you react to certain things. And that's not even the first step. Like, you got to ask me the right question for me to give you the right answer. So I can't just always speak to things because it's no point to. Divine gives you access. It's not like people think intelligence is obtaining all the knowledge in the world. That is not true. That is not a fact. So you can read 1,000,001 books. That shit don't mean nothing, yo. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't mean nothing. That's like wasting mental space. The true knowledge, right? The true understanding of being intelligent is getting rid of things that you know. Don't you know your body remembers? All the knowledge you have is like, it's like burnt inside you somewhere. Even if you don't remember, it's in there like a hard drive. You know what I'm saying? So, like, your body knows. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about, oh, I know that, I read the book. Nah, it's about making space to learn. So when you holding on to shit and you think you know everything, you think you smart, you think you smarter than people and all that, and you got this whole way of living, you literally closed yourself off like this because you're holding on to one way of doing something. But when you're open, right? When you're open to learn and receive, that gave you more space to get the download. So divine ain't about to just give you a book because you submitted to the process that was inlaid inside you. Divine will let you access the knowledge whenever you want. And to other people, it'll seem like, yo, how the hell you just be pulling shit out of thin air? It's because I already submitted to the divine. Yo. I'm not out here trying to live in my free will. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what free will really does. It gets you in a lot of trouble. You know what I'm saying? I understand what that is. You know what I'm saying? It's full totality. Some people, they late bloomers, they don't get a chance to experience what other people experience with their free will, and then they get jealous and mad and they get envious. And then with that understanding, they can't have a full experience in their life with what the things come with the creation of their self really is. And that's because they're looking outside of themselves, but they're blind. So since they're blind, they can't see that they're actually living in their will, in their free will. They're just choosing to do the wrong things with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's your fault. That's your choice. You don't have to live like that. You know what I'm saying? You could be as good as the divine and let your goodness multiply by 1,000. You good to people, it's always going to come back to you. If you stand up for the right thing, it's always going to come back to you. So instead of trying to be manipulative, a liar, a cheater, stealer, whatever, play the right roles in people's life. Don't be a blocker. Don't be somebody trying to hold people back. Be someone that wants to help people get where they want to go, because that's how you get that energy to come back to you. It's because you let it go free. Divine sets things free and gives it its option to love divine. It gives you your option to have free will. But when you're out in the world and you see that the world is not serving you, you can come back to the bosom or the comfort or the love of the Almighty. And once you comprehend that, you're not too much going to want to do other things, because you're going to be like, nah, I know what's going to happen because I've put my body through certain things. Me personally, I was kind of a wild child. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would try a lot of things in life. One thing the man that gave me life told me, said, when you go out there in the world, try it. Don't get stuck to it. I'm like, what you mean try it? He's like, because you're going to be around people. You're going to want to do stuff. Try it, but don't make it a habit. And that thing stuck with me. It stuck with me like skin for some reason. Because I always wanted somebody to tell me the right things to do. So every little piece of a right knowledge that I got, no matter where I got it from, I kept it. I kept it as a law. And I would watch other people that, they have like an addictive personality, or they would, what I'm saying, they just didn't care about themselves enough to say, nah, I know what that feels like. I'm good. So I've tried things in life, but I never wanted to stay. You know what I'm saying? I never wanted to visit, visit for the whole year. I never wanted that. I went and I tried it out. I seen how that felt. I woke up the next day. You know what I'm saying? All right, boom. Now it's time to get back to what we've been doing. You know what I'm saying? That type of energy. So I experienced a lot of things in my life. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things, a whole bunch of things. Not so crazy to where, it just messes life all the way up. You know what I'm saying? But I got a chance to see the values in those things. And I always got knowledge from it. I always got, okay, that's what that does. But people outside looking in would prejudge a value thinking that they know what they looking at. And nobody never knew what they was looking at when they looked at me. They just judged me. So I always was cool with that, because one of the cardinal laws is don't judge. We are all creations of the divine as some form of value, whether it's secondhand or firsthand. We're all creations of the divine. So I would look at that as, yo, that's a trap. That's a trap, yo. Don't be judging nobody, because we all created. Like, you can mess around and get caught judging a divine, like, I was working on you, but you stepped out of your skin. And I've been in those situations when I was younger, mad because I knew I just was learning something, but then got mad at somebody and was like, da 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 da, right? And then something would happen. I would go through something, you know what I'm saying? And then it wouldn't be like something magical or somebody doing something like that. It would be like a real learning lesson. And I would get that lesson and then it would go away. And then how I knew divine was teaching me, because sometimes that same punishment will repeat itself depending on what I did. Like if I did something, and I probably shouldn't have been doing, I overdrank, you know what I'm saying? I went somewhere I wasn't supposed to be going. I took something I wasn't supposed to be. I took some candy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would get the same punishment. I'd be like, God damn, that hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it would hurt for real, for real. And that's how I learned, yo. Like, I was a kid getting knowledge like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I wasn't really getting it from nobody else as a kid. I was going through some rough shit as a child. So I wasn't getting the right guidance. You know what I'm saying? But divine seemed fit for me to learn certain things. You know what I mean? I was always the one who liked to be by myself. I would go off and be with my friends, or go off and be by myself somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I always fought, because somebody always had something to say. They want to show off. So I'm always fighting. So I knew how to fight as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't the thing. Like, I just would go, and I was ready to take on what the world had to offer. But through those things that I was going through, me going away, going out into the world, divine was always with me. And best believe, as a little man, I was terrified, yo. I was terrified of a lot of things, but it would be this thing inside of me. I'll be like, all right, you about to go in this neighborhood. You don't know nobody over there. It might be dogs in there. That's always the first thing popped in my head, some dogs out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I didn't want to run. You got to run from dogs, right? You might get caught, right? So then you scared for your life. So I would run from dogs. I'm like, yo, it's dogs down there. You don't know. So you'd be like, going. You know what I'm saying? You just go, like, you hype yourself up and you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people didn't even like the fact that I was like that. I had friends that knew I would do that to myself. They'd be like, you just hyping yourself up. They would try to always narrate what's going on with me, because they know if I got put in a situation, I'm going to make it happen. They go, like, I might be scared, but I'll overcome it. I'll overcome it right in front of you. I'll overcome that fear. If it's a fight, if it's an animal, if it's trouble, I'm going to overcome it right then and there. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to wait next week. We ain't going to go talk about this shit nowhere. We going to overcome this right now. We going to get through. I was that type of kid. Always been that type of kid. You know what I'm saying? So those qualities in my head was me leaning on the Almighty. Cause that's all I ever had. I would be like, if we ain't had no cell phones as a kid, who you gonna call? You out there in the hot sun, it's 100 degrees outside. You might have a couple of quarters in your pocket, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might have a little something in there to get you some quarter water and some chips. But at the end of the day, like, majority of the time you ain't had nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you better know about the land. You better know what blackberries is and plums and honeysuckles and wineberries, and you better know what that is. You know what I'm saying? Or you just ain't gonna eat until you get home. You know what I'm saying? So those things is just as knowledge that you carry with you. Like, imagine being 7 or 8 years old and you really far from your home. Like, you miles away, 10, 20 miles away, and you're walking. You know what I'm saying? You in the woods walking and you like, I'm hungry. You ain't got no tissue. You gotta use the bathroom. You go poop in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want something to drink. You ain't got no water. You ain't got no bottle for no water. So you gotta find honeysuckles. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta eat a bunch of flowers until you finally develop enough spit to where you quenched for a little while. You hungry. Blackberries. You know what I'm saying? And plums that grow wild in the woods. Wine berries and stuff like that. They like these little teeny berries that look like cherries. And we would sit in a tree and just eat mouthfuls of those, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they tasted kind of like cherries a little bit. They was just small. But these qualities is things I went through coming up until I got to my first level of 2 digits. Like my first 11, 12, 13, like that. And you're still carrying that energy as you get older, but you're growing into an adult. So as you grow into an adult, you're learning that the fear that you carry as the person you are in your 1 digits, you have to do something with that. You can't just carry it, you know what I'm saying? So it was old, and I don't know, in my head, I would flip out if somebody messed with my brothers. So I would always remember when I got extra brave. That was just a thing for me. Like, you wasn't going to do nothing to me and think it wasn't going to happen. I don't care how big you were. Like, I didn't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I would lose my mind if somebody thought they was going to do something to somebody that I loved. And my brother, my little brother, would come home crying sometimes, and I wasn't about to let him sit up in there and cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, who did it? Who did what? And here's so and so and so and so. I'm going to kick somebody behind you. Like, that's just what it was. I didn't care what my mother had to say at that point. I didn't care what nobody. My brother be like, "Don't you go out there? Shut up. You ain't gonna do nothing anyway because you don't fight." I'm going after whoever mess with my brother. And my brother will watch me beat him. You know what I'm saying? This is my brother. Don't you ever put your hands on him again. Like, I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? So that taught me a lot about fear. Because I knew at certain times when it mattered and certain times when it didn't matter. And when it came to my family, that's when it mattered. It's like certain things you couldn't say. And people, when you grow up, they see that connection in family. They see that strength in family. Like, oh, nah, they gonna look after for each other. When they see that, they try to come in between it like a wedge. And they'll hammer at it. They'll make up all the excuses in the world. Oh, they don't want you to grow up, and they don't want this, and they don't want that. Just to split y'all apart. Right? And then when you finally get your own mind, you understand that it was just your brother loving you as you got older. Me and my younger brother had this conversation. I don't know if it stuck to him, you know what I'm saying? Because he always did what he wanted to do, even when he got older. Like, keep in mind, I'm 46 now, he's 40. But people have always tried to come between my family, period. You know what I'm saying? They'll say whatever they want to try to divide it up and try to make it a good conversation piece, a logical understanding to where see, and point it out like it's a thing. And it was never like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but my family ain't as strong as me spiritually or mentally. I've been through a lot of things. I had groups of people I hung out with. You know what I'm saying? I seen it in the streets in real time. So I never trusted people anyway. I never was one to care for outside anything. All right, you here, act like you know how you act, or you can leave. I was on that type of energy. Anybody who came in after the fact is still a foreigner to me. That's how I looked at life. I just wasn't going to accept extra things because we didn't grow up with that blood is thin type stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was when we was young is you better do right by your family or the elders gonna see you. That's just what it was like. So we was raised right, but the family didn't even like that. They didn't like the fact that they got reprimanded when they did wrong things. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the weakness was in the family. So you had this weak energy that existed in my family. And because they had to face qualities inside of them that they needed to be fixed, they hated parts of our family and they would never say it. They hated, oh, because they did me like this or they didn't treat me this way. And they would hold on to that. They would hold on to this negative energy even after the family is gone. They dead and gone now. You still mad. And it's not a logical thinking. It's almost like it's a piece of something in them went crazy. You know what I'm saying? And they would sit back and allow certain things to come into play because they remember when a family member might have stuck up for you. They remember when somebody was wrong and they protected you. So they like, when they gone, you ain't gonna have nobody. And that's like, that exists in people's minds, in their families, in their realities. And it's a sad reality because it's not like they don't have the truth that they need to live by. They just won't do the right thing. So these qualities that are inside of us, they get broken and they fall apart. And when you break those things, you're breaking a function that divine already laid inside of you. Divine put the right stuff in you, the right seasonings. And it was built off the right foundation. No matter what you experience, when you experience negative things, it's not for you to carry it for your whole life. It's for you to say, nah, that's what I went through. I know that's not what I'm going to do. That's the pathway. Some people choose the other pathway. Well, I went through that, so everybody else got to suffer. Nah, that'd be a scapegoat, really. That'd be a scapegoat just so they can do things later to put pain and hurt in your mind. Just so they can say, well, now that I've done you like this, what are you going to do? And see, most people, they're thinking, like I said, from entitlement. They believe, okay, I can do these things to people. I can hurt them in the way I want. You are messing up the timeline that divine had planned for that life and that creation. Well, divine wasn't there for me. Divine ain't there for nobody. Divine is waiting for you to show unconditional love from the fact that you're created. See, you get a choice to do this. Even in your pain, you can call on the Almighty. It's up to you. Or you could be mad that nothing just don't magically show up for you. It don't work like that. Nothing's going to magically show up from nobody. You have to acknowledge your existence as a higher thing. That's how you get out of things. Knowing that you're a part of something better is what gets you out of the lower parts of your life. Just knowing that. Once you start realizing, no, I'm better than this. I don't have to deal with this. Why am I here on in the lowest part of my life right now? Sometimes when you don't know the people that you're choosing to be around, that'll drag you in the wrong direction. But isn't that a choice of your own? That's the difference. You don't make a negative choice because you wanted to and then get mad that it didn't work out the way you want and then lie about the choice. It don't work like that. You're just lying to be lying even more. You think divine don't see you sitting there being stupid? Well, I'm going to lie more because I don't want to look bad. Nah, my Nana told me before she passed away, she was like, yo, it's okay to make a mistake as long as you realize it's a mistake. That's the point. You realizing that it's a mistake. You saying, you know what? I made a mistake. I told this female that straight up. I'm like, yo, you know what? I made a mistake. You're not what I thought you was. And it's okay. I'm not mad at you, but I'm not going to let this go on no further because I don't want to look up a couple months later and I'm still talking to you in this bull. I'm so serious, yo. Like, it was the coldest thing in the world. People were like, yo, and she was like, that was mean. That's not mean. It's a reality. People don't like straight up energy. And it has nothing to do with being disrespectful. Yeah, somebody's feelings might be hurt because their intentions, what they're trying to get out of you. So they see all their plans go out the window at that point. They're like, damn, what I planned to do is not going to work because this person not feeling me no more. So now they got to do something to make you feel like, man, come on, man. Real is the only way you can be. You can fix what you messed up. You can be honest about your decisions. You can even do somebody really, really wrong and come back to them and fix it. The outcome of those things might not be what you want, but if you're a man and woman enough to do that, you get divine grace because you did the hard work first. Divine says, learn to do the lessons before I have to force you to. That be the real ill right there. Like nobody don't hear like why divine gotta push you through the door and break all your bones in the process. Oh, because you was hard-headed. You didn't want to listen. You thought you was gonna constantly get away with murder. No, you're not. Because like I said, all creations are of the divine, and sometimes the flower ain't open yet. It takes a little while for the flower to bloom. You didn't plant that seed, so how you gonna say what needs to be the outcome for that? That be that entitled shit. I could go on and on about this all night. But my point to y'all is, if you want this spiritual consultation, contact me via email or in the comment section, and we could do something on that. The Almighty is there for you, yo. Just like you choose to love all these other things in the world, you choose to be crazy out your mouth. You choose to be disrespectful to your family. You choose to lie, steal, cheat, whatever. You can still go to the Almighty, borrow a little bit of that energy, and go make it right. That's where your real power at. That's where your real power at. People who used to know me, they'll be like, yo, he ain't da-da-da. I don't give a shit what nobody think. Like I told y'all on one of the bills, if divine seen fit for me to protect yourself, there's gonna be a godly ass whipping you catch. Like it don't listen. I'm scared. I'm scared, yo. But I walk with the Almighty. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's what I was supposed to add to this. I almost forgot. Look, all you people out here who be talking about, that's how you know if a person really with the Almighty or not. Because they won't be promoting fear. They won't be out here talking about, oh, you need to worry about this and worry about that. And I understand the warnings because the warnings come from people who ain't truly in line with divine. So yes, you may have to have a warning about what may come to you because you ain't all the way in line with the divine. But when you aligned with the Almighty, it's nothing to ever worry about. You don't worry about nothing. You bet not, because that's like you, if you're going to worry, one thing a friend of mine said to me years ago, it was the flyest thing I ever heard as far as having a connection to the Most High. And it fit perfect. It was like divine made him say that to me just so I would carry it for the rest of my life. And I did. He said to me, if you're going to pray, don't worry. And if you're going to worry, don't pray. And I was like, yo, that's fire, yo. I got goosebumps now. I was like, yo, I ain't never even thought about it like that. You can't have it both ways. You can't be in almighty energy and scared at the same time. So for you people who are like, oh, I believe in the Most High, but it's a warning. You need to worry about this. You don't believe in the Most High because you just kind of contradicted yourself. What power by man would you have to worry about? What demon would you have to worry about? What conjure spell? What weapon formulated do you have to worry about if you walking with the Almighty? I'll wait. So the people who we walk around talking about they gonna do this and they gonna do that, they ain't gonna do shit. They ain't gonna do shit. They just say stuff like that because they're no longer in tune with the Most High. I'm not worried about nobody. Do your worst. Get your poison. Get your spells. Do your worst. Divine gonna see fit for you to eat all that. And you'll think it's going in my body. Divine done pull that piece off and put it on your plate. Just that fast. You be like, why? Something don't feel right. Yeah. Same thing you wanted for me, you got now. All praises to the Most High. And if I feel anything, I get clogged up too long, I'm going to the Almighty. I have been and been doing it for years. For years. Not just a couple, for years. And still in my flesh, I'll be weak about certain things, but I bleed too. So that makes my flesh imperfect. So I can only ask divine to fortify me in a divine way. How you see fit, how you saw fit in my creation, line me back up with that. I know people hearing me speak like this be like, yo, he on something. He ain't like he used to be. I don't care. I don't think about nobody. I really don't care what nobody think about me. I love what love me. It's a fact. If you love me, I love you. I love you. If you love me, I love you back. I'm so serious. You ain't got nothing for me. I don't see you. I'm thinking about the Almighty. That's it. Because the Almighty has been there for me through good, bad, indifferent. When I had it, when I didn't have it. I never have to argue with the Almighty. The Almighty never questions me. I can always go to Almighty in my tears. My most vulnerable spot, I can always go to the Almighty. Even when I ain't got nobody else that's supposed to be there, I could go to the Almighty. It got to the point to where my love for the Almighty grew so strong, when I would speak to the Almighty, I would cry. Because I've realized what was there. You don't have enough patience in yourself to get to that point. That's how I be knowing y'all, a lot of people not where they supposed to be at as far as being spiritual. Because when you express the divine, it doesn't hit you in a certain way. It's too normal. It should never be a normal thing. I wish you would talk while my grandfather was praying over his food. Yeah, you gonna get beat. You gonna get beat. You gonna get hit with a belt and it's gonna feel like lightning. You're gonna be mad about that. You're gonna be like, he hit me. You're gonna be crying for like 2 weeks to be like, I still feel that, yeah. You're gonna say, what'd I say? Then my grandfather gonna say, what did I tell you? What did I say? That's a fact, yo. You get beat down. You're gonna have respect for the Almighty. And this lesson I'm trying to show y'all right now is what was supposed to be taught to everybody. So I get it. All praises to the Most High. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm just trying to show you something. NAGA the Wise. Contact me for them consultations.